What up, my people? Welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to be diving into BTS's debut album, Too Cool for School. I am stoked to get into this. We have made it through Dark and Wild and Arirang, and at least one solo project from each of the guys so far. I am now going to be going in chronological order as you all recommended, from the beginning till the end, and in the middle, fitting in some of the solo albums as well that you all have been asking for. And for the blinks here as well, do not worry, I will be doing Blackpink along the way too. We're really just going all out from here on out, non-stop. It's not ending anytime. But yeah, we got Too Cool for School. I'm excited for this, and with that being said, I'm a jump into it.
We're now going to progress to some steps which are a bit more difficult. Ready, set, and begin.
Was that the pacer test? Alright, so quick little intro. Clearly you see the hip-hop roots there right away. I mean, the beat spins going crazy as if it's literally a DJ mixing board. Little like chopped and screwed type of vocals there with the distortion in the low end. Even just looking at the photos of them, I'm excited to see where this goes because obviously they're so young. I've seen the latter half of the journey plus Dark and Wild, but 90% of what I've seen has been nowadays, and I can't wait to see more of the older influences, what inspired their sound. Something in my gut just tells me that RM was a big fan of the Black Eyed Peas, just in his style of that photo and in sound selection we've heard so far across other projects. So I wonder what the roots are going to be like. This is We Are Bulletproof though. They look so young.
We are bulletproof. We are bulletproof. Bulletproof. 이름은 정국. skit은 전국. 학교 대신 연습실에서 밤새 춤을 추고 노래 불러내. 너희가 놀 때 난 꿈을 집도 하며 잠을 참아가며 매일 밤새 볼펜을 잡네. 아침 해가 뜨는 뒤에 난 눈을 감네. 이중 잣대와 수많은 반대 속에서 부숴버리는 나의 한계. 그에 반해 재수족해 회사에 컨택된 속칭 노래 못해 래퍼를 당한 너에게 래퍼라는 타이틀을 쌓지. Everywhere I go, everything I do 나 보여줄게 칼을 갈아왔던 만큼 날 무시하던 많은 사람들이 이젠 oh 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 we shout it out. 나같이 해봤다면 돌을 던져. We go hard 우린 겁이 없어. Click click bang bang we just sing it like click click bang bang we just sing it like 나같이 해봤다면 돌을 던져. We go hard 우린 겁이 없어. Click click bang bang we just sing it like click click bang bang we just sing it like 1인 내놔 긴장했다 끝판대자. We are bulletproof. We are bulletproof. What's up? Bulletproof. 아직 아무것도 없지. Still 연습생 and rapper man. Yeah, I don't know, that's nothing. 고 믿어 하지만 이제 필요 없어졌지. 넌 아직도 아마추어 난 메이저 두껍게 섞여. Rap monster 말처럼 오늘같이 무슨 비트든 간에 난 싹 집어삼켜. 진실한 이름값 얘들아 이리 와 난 아이돌의 반전 하하. 힙 무신분이 형들은 불가능하다 해지 boy. 똑똑히 봐 이거를 파서버려 마치 표치고 안 파서보자 이제 내리 boy. Everywhere I go, everything I do 나 보여줄게 칼을 갈아왔던 만큼 날 무시하던 많은 사람들 이젠 oh 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 we shout it out. 나같이 해봤다면 돌을 던져. We go hard 우린 겁이 없어. Click click bang bang we just sing it like click click just sing it like 나같이 해봤다면 불을 던져 We go hard 우린 copy 없어 Click click bang bang We just sing it like Click click bang bang We just sing it like 1인 내놔 긴장했다 끝판대자 We are bulletproof We are bulletproof What's up? Bulletproof Bulletproof
Alright, so that was Bulletproof. And the first comment I would give that just made me kind of laugh to myself a little was there was something about older music videos back in the 2000s, early 2010s, where for some reason there was just a need to add stock images and videos. This stuff killed me. Like, this is not them. This is just for some reason, it was what was in the music industry, but where you would cut away from a shot of performance or dance or them singing to just a shot of like still photos of a microphone and diamonds. I don't know if there was some deeper meaning for them in this track, but that was just a thing where like you put lyrics on the screen, and I'm glad we as in just the space of music have kind of evolved out of that. It didn't really make much sense. But to the song itself, my first takeaway in terms of the abilities the guys had, because that's what I mainly focus on. This is obviously a look back at the previous artistry. I can't imagine that too much of what they're saying in this song in particular, something that like is going to resonate with me nowadays as an adult who appreciates the details of life in their music from their experience, but focusing solely on their abilities and what stands out there. The rap ability and the cadence is gifted from day one. Like, that much is clear. The ability to perform at that level, to vocalize emotion, is a really hard skill set for a lot of artists to find over time, and they had that from day one. Like, maybe it was just some confidence, but nah, I wouldn't even say it was just confidence, because the detailing in vocal performance of syllabants and pronunciating well was very strong while also keeping it so it flowed. It's hard to balance those, and it's kind of a natural thing. A lot of people either got it or they don't. Yeah, you can teach it over time, but this wasn't taught over time. They've always had that ability. If someone could comment and let me know their exact ages at this point in time, that'd be dope. I'll look it up after either way, but I know I might get distracted with other stuff as I listen and forget that. So it always helps you guys when I mention that if you can comment it. They all sound mature at the same time. Like, obviously the subject matter is young and it's leaning in a direction very different than how they've grown. But the idea of having confidence and being yourself to a degree is still there. Like, it's all rooted in positivity of putting on for yourself. The clothing and the swag had me laughing a little bit in my head, because that was obviously very in terms of the style artists would try and pursue. You'd want to stand out back in that era. You'd want to kind of stick out in a room. But nowadays, I don't know how people reacted back then, but nowadays, if like RN came out with the flat top and they're wearing stuff of similar styles, I could see people saying they're trying to appropriate. Not that I actually think they were trying to do that. Like, these were kids who loved hip hop, so there was nothing wrong with that. I think the idea of cultural appropriation can be thrown around too much. It definitely is a thing that happens in the world, but it doesn't need to be a bad thing in every instance. Like, just because you like somebody else's way of doing things doesn't mean that you're doing it in poor style or doing it for the wrong reasons. So yes, cultural appropriation is 100% a real thing, but I don't think that was sort of like the goal here. But I do think that if a new K-pop group had come out in 2026 with the lead act having a flat top and that sort of style of hair, it might get some looks. And so that's just my 2 cents there. But overall, the song was great. The sonic range each artist had. The backside I did like, where they each had their own little dance section. It gave them the ability to showcase their personal talent there. The SFX added to it were a little bit much for me, but that was more the style there, so I'll just tone back on that. Yeah, we keep it moving. It was a cool visual. And now we got a skit, the circle room talk.
뮤직비디오 그거 흰색 와이셔츠에 빨간 넥타이 내가 그 얼마 따라 해서 입었거든. 그래가지고 안 어울리시.
I kid you not, they've used that bell before. That is the bell my nana has at her house for her doorbell, and it kind of creeps me out that that's the exact bell they're using.
가자. 아니 뭐 훔쳤다고 그래요. 그냥 오늘 째려고 째 시원하게 한번 째봅시다. 그래가지고 그래가지고 에픽하게 좀 더 해봐봐.
아니 그래가지고 그거 듣고 이제 딱 시작했다니까요 제가 랩을. 말 그대로 플라이 했다는 거 아니에요.
슈가님도 그거 듣고 랩 시작했지.
다 똑같아 진짜
했었어.
똑같았어. 그러면 뭐 우리는 플라이 들을 때 우리 호흡은 뭐 했는데?
뭐가 하셨나?
난 또 이제 랩하는 사람들과 이제 또 남다르게 또 나는 춤에 미쳐 있었지.
그렇지.
하거나 댄스. 뭐 지휘도 마찬가지일까?
아니 당연하죠. 혹시 여기서 무용을 꿈꿔본 사람은 없나?
없어.
우영은 없어.
방금 정적 들었냐?
한 명도 없어.
방금 다들 고민했다고.
1초 정적.
태영이 너 꿈이 뭐였어?
저 3년간 색소폰 했었어요.
근데 왜 지금 안 해?
색소폰?
입이 아파서.
입이 아팠는데.
입이 아파.
입이 아팠는데.
가식적이다.
저 입이 아팠거든요.
입이 많이 아팠나 보다.
엄청난 이유다.
마음이 아프다. 야.
아니 그 진영 우리 형은 꿈이 뭐였어요 형은?
나야 뭐 그냥 우리 아빠처럼 7시에 출근하고 저녁 6시에 퇴근해서 딱 마누라가 차려주면 밥 먹고
나도 그게 제일 좋다고
어떻게
생각해.
보면 이게 최고인 것 같긴 해.
이게 짱이지. 척이더라.
힙합이 다 뭔송이에요. 그게 짱이지.
그렇다고 힙합을 버려요 왜요?
시원하게 보냈구만. 시원하게 보냈어.
야, 우리 아빠 욕하지 마.
버리고 그래?
우리 아빠 욕하지 마.
네네네.
정국아 너는 꿈이 뭐였냐?
그래 뭐.
저요? 저 기억 잘 안 나는데.
JK can never remember anything.
이놈의 새끼를!
You know, quickly, I don't usually jump in the middle, but someone commented a great point during the Wired interview that JK seemed to remember the answer to everyone else's life story except when the questions were his. It was so factual.
들어가 들어가 없애보는 거 해야겠네 이 새끼야. 들어가!
알겠습니다.
Alright, so that was the circle room talk, and before we get into No More Dream, I do find it cool to hear their voices back then because they all sound, I mean, Hobie sounds the exact same, but they all sound pretty much the exact same, just older, except for Hobie, literally, the voice has not changed at all. But the way they banter, the way they laugh with each other, the way they talk, it's always clearly been organic. And again, part of why they're clearly a special group and why I grew to love their work right away and their artistry is you can't fake that realness. It's something you can't put on a mask and do. People would see right through it. And the relationship they all have with each other, the way they laugh, the way they smile, the way they enjoy each other's company, the way they appreciate you all, it's so real. And the second I started listening, I saw that. So that was part of what lured me into their artistry and made me want to keep enjoying this endeavor, because when I started this journey of diving into K-pop, I had no idea what I was signing up for. I just knew it was one of the only sectors of music I knew nothing about. And I thought it'd be cool to kind of share that experience. I had no idea how attached I would grow to the music, the artistry. And obviously, I think in the back of my head, I hoped that would become the case, but I didn't know. Like, there was a chance I would say, like, this is just not for me. Clearly, that's not the case. I've really grown to appreciate each of the guys for their own artistry, their own personality, their own uniqueness. But as a group, they really are special altogether. Alright, so this is No More Dream, second music video.
What's up? This is Big Kid exclusive. And the coolest kid in the world. Woo! BTS. Rap monster. Jin. Jimin. J-Hope. V. And who do we got here right now? Sugar. Jungle. 야마 내 꿈은 뭐래 야마 내 꿈은 뭐래 야마 내 꿈은 뭐래 네 꿈은 I want a big house and big ring But 사실은 I don't have any big dreams 난 참 편하게 살아 꿈 따위 안 꿔도 아무도 말 안 하잖아 다 똑같이 나처럼 생각하고 있어 까먹 꿈만 던 어린 시절 대학은 걱정 마 멀리라도 갈 거니까 알았어 엄마 지금 독서실 간다니까 너의 길을 가라고 단 하루를 살아도 뭐라도 하라고 나약함은 담아도 왜 말 못하고 있어 공부는 하기 싫다면서 학교 때려치기는 겁나지 이거 받은 거야 준비하는 벌써 설정들은 제발 좀 너희만 살아가지고 유리 멘탈 보이 스톱 자신에게 물어봐 언제 네가 열심히 노력했냐고
야만 내 꿈은 뭐래 야만 내 꿈은 뭐래 야만 내 꿈은 뭐래 네 꿈은 그거래
거짓말이야 서툴 라이어 힘이 심이야 비싼 차이야 왜 자꾸 딴 길을 가래 야 너나 잘해 제발 강요하지 말아줘 라라라라라
내 꿈의 머리 내 꿈의 머리 고작이 거니
지겨운 same day 반복되는 매일 어른들과 부모님한테 받기 꿈을 주입해 장래 희망 넘버 원 공무원 강요된 꿈은 아냐 구해 말 구원 투수 시간 낭비 야자에 도지구는 아니 똑같은 사회에 반항해 꿈을 특별사면 자신에게 물어봐 네 꿈의 프로파일 억감을 받던 인생 네 삶의 추억가 되어봐 지금 네 거울 속에 누가 보여 I gotta say 너의 길을 가라고 단 하루를 살아도 뭐라도 하라고 나약함은 담아줘
내 꿈은 뭐래 야만 내 꿈은 뭐래 야만 내 꿈은 뭐래 네 꿈은 그거래
거짓말이야 서툴 라이어 힘이 심이야 비싼 차이야 왜 자꾸 딴 길을 가래 야 너나 잘해 제발 강요하지 말아줘 라라라라라
내 꿈의 머리 내 꿈의 머리 고작이 거니
살아가는 법을 몰라 날아가는 법을 몰라 결정하는 법을 몰라
이젠 꿈꾸는 법도 몰라 눈을 떠났다 이제 춤을 춰봤자 다시 꿈을 꿔봤다 너 꿈을 대지 마 춤을 대지 마
거짓말이야 서툴 라이어 힘이 심이야 비싼 차이야 왜 자꾸 딴 길을 가래 야 너나 잘해 제발 강요하지 말아줘 라라라라라
내 꿈의 머리 내 꿈의 머리 고작이 거니 To all the youngsters without dreams
Alright, so that was No More Dream. First thing, I'll need to listen back to that one with the lyric video just because some of the lyrics were kind of getting confusing towards the bottom and I want to make sure I interpret it properly. But another main thing that kind of had me laughing towards the end was when they were just like throwing stuff around and kind of trashing the room. It really took me to the fact that they are the same people today in the 2.0 video as they're just messing around in the bathroom and RM's like juggling the toilet paper and they're hanging out by the urinals. The fact that even 12 years later, whatever it's been, they're still the same kids at heart where you put them in a music video environment and you better give them a chance to just around and laugh and have some fun with it. And I love that. The youthfulness is still there. I know a lot of people highlighted that this new project took them back to the roots to a degree in terms of the sound selection and just the overall vibe of it. From Dark and Wild so far, I definitely see that with this as well, where it's just raw, real music on Arirang. On this, that's the same energy you're getting. You're getting a bunch of kids for the first time having a platform to be too cool for school. And I know there are some predated singles, but this is like the first like real body of work, I believe. And with that comes the excitement of, hey, like this is real. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of confidence, there's a lot of potential. I'm gonna go back and look at the lyrics again. I'm not gonna speak on them too much without really knowing what was said, but the ideas are still kind of the same. Like they convey the idea of go chase what you want, and for the kids that don't have dreams, go find them is kind of how I perceived it. I could be totally wrong. I was really struggling with the lyrics on this one just because it was not popping up timely and I don't think it was all accurate. It's the one downside of music being older is no one's gone back and fixed these things on the YouTube side. And yeah, I mean the roots in hip hop are cool. I mean it's cool for me to see as somebody who grew up loving hip hop and rap, and I have found different genres over time I enjoy, and I have a very wide range of music I like. That my roots are in hip hop. Actually, my roots are more classic rock. But when I found my first taste of music, like I grew up on classic rock because what was around me and what my dad listened to. But when I started to find my own love for music, that was really through rap. As a white boy from the suburbs, it's like that's not really the type of music that should resonate with you because I didn't live that type of lifestyle. But for some reason in my soul, hip hop, just the inspiration behind it, just connected with me. And they have that too, and I think that's part of why I instantly connected to them as a group. Was, again, it wasn't phony, it wasn't fake, it wasn't just pursuing what was trending. They're their own unique identity, they're their own unique genre of music. They're like nothing I've ever heard before. I mean, that's from then till now. Oh, and quickly before the interlude, last thing. Was there a sample in that in the beginning? The beginning of that last track sounded very vaguely familiar, and I wasn't sure if I was recognizing it from somewhere. Would love to know. So quick little interlude. I assume they all produced that, but anything in particular I should know about it? I'm obviously blind on this, so let me know. But let's get into Like.
Wanna be loved, don't wanna be fool, wanna be cool, wanna be loved. 너와의 same love, baby I want it.
내가 올리는 모든 사진마다 좋아요 남발하는 처음 보는 저 남자 누구야? 아 맞다 나 이제 남자친구 아니지 자연스레 네 번호 눌렀잖아 전화나 카톡 하자니 꼭 치는 것 같고 뭐라도 안 하면 나 신경도 안 쓸 것 같아 싫어요 버튼은 없는데 싫어져 30몇 명 중 하나가 되는 게 여기도 좋다고 저기도 좋다고 한 번만 놀자고 왜 그리 겁냐고 어수비 이제 내 것도 아닌데 왜 뺏기는 것 같은지 넌 아웃이 참 잘 사네 눈꼴 시려우니까 노는 것 좀 살살해 목까지 올라온 저 줄에 삼키고 오늘도 좋아요 누르지
넌 남이 되고 오히려 더 좋아 보여 pretty woman yeah 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 얄밉게도 여전히 더 좋아 보여 pretty woman oh pretty woman Don't wanna be fool, wanna be cool, wanna be loved 너와의 same love I know it's over yeah Don't wanna be fool, wanna be cool, wanna be loved 너와의 same love Baby I want it
친구 놈이 늘은 좋아요로 보이는 네 얼굴은 훨씬 좋아 보여 새 남친과 찍은 사진 속 택 덕분에 추억 속으로 난 백스페이스 그 세상은 어느새 다들 멈춰 있는데 난 왜 여전히 그 시간에 걸쳐 있는데 넌 내 생각을 할까 고민하며 좋아요를 누를까 말까 수십 번을 반복해 너의 마음은 마치 단두대 어처럼 나를 싹둑 가차 없이 잘라냈지만 난 도깨비 감투 몰래 다가가 너의 일상생활은 맨날 보내 그때마다 머릿속은 108번에 oh shit 내 생각은 할까 고민하며 좋아요를 누르지 말자
넌 남이 되고 오히려 더 좋아 보여 pretty woman yeah 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 얄밉게도 여전히 넌 좋아 보여 pretty woman oh pretty woman Don't wanna be fool, wanna be cool, wanna be loved 너와의 same love I know it's over yeah Don't wanna be fool, wanna be cool, wanna be loved 너와의 same love Baby I want it 너 요즘에 어떻게 지내고 있나 궁금해 보니 좋아요가 됐나
나 없이 잘 사는 네가 왜 생각났지 찾아온 건 한심한 나도 누르고 갈게 네 그 위에 난 요즘 너 없이 이렇게 지내 난 되고 오히려 좋아 보여 pretty woman 어이하위게도 여전히 좋아 보여 pretty woman pretty woman wanna be cool wanna be loved 너와의 same love I know it's over don't wanna be fool wanna be cool wanna be loved 너와의 same love baby I want it.
Alright, so that was Like. Before we get into the outro, overall, they sound great. First little change of pace on the project where it's still elements of rap, of course, but not really as trap or rap heavy, more melodic based with a hint of rap. So obviously in the 2000s and 2010s, we saw a lot more integration of rap via verses where there were strong choruses and a verse that came with rap to kind of tell more of a story. This did a great job at that. Now, I'd be interested to know kind of how the guys feel on this, how this song aged them personally. As, you okay, Bugs? What the hell are you doing? I'd be interested to see how this song aged for them personally, because I do feel that the subject matter is a unique narrative in that a lot of people, after they go through breakups, will see their significant other or ex on a social platform or out in public and be like, damn, you look better now. Like that's a real emotion that people relate to. There are the feelings of reminiscing and the nostalgia of missing what was there. So that's a real thought. However, the phrasing doesn't really resonate with how I can't imagine JK singing like you look better now than you did before, even though maybe it's bad translation. I mean, they all are such charismatic, amazing people. And again, they were very young during this time, but I was just a little caught off guard by some of the word choice they used to describe the situations. Not because I think it was really wrong of them, but just because it was more critical of a situation than I perceived them as. But again, like they were kids, and I had plenty of stuff I'm sure I said as a kid that I do not these days live by or respect what I would have said, or I would have told myself looking back, like, what are you doing? We all grow up to a degree. And so it's going to be cool to watch them grow up, see their potential, see their existing range, see their stardom, but also to see their mistakes and understand that they are human. So we can all remind ourselves that we've all made mistakes too. And we all have things that we regret, or we have that are traumatic, or choices we've made that we've grown to live with or to learn from. I know they have the same feelings towards their careers and their lives because they've talked about in their music how they're trying to be more present and not think about the past that way, and they look towards the future, but as RM said, also focus on the present because the future never comes. It's been a cool dose before I get to the outro of seeing where they were at, more so when they were starting. And obviously what I will say is nothing for right now. I'm gonna wait till I finish the outro and then we'll get into it all. This is outro.
수업이 끝이 났네. 조용히 봐. 야, 내가 죽이는 비트 하나 써왔어. 맨날 찍지만. 근데
괜찮대. 또 쩔어.
다 예상하면
알지.
또 지겨운 쌤인데. 맨날 괜찮대. 지겨운 쌤 피.
한번. 너
짠데.
들어가. 한가는 너희가 해.
얼마나 잘 찍었는지.
야, 나 춘다.
작업은 잘해요.
괜찮은데.
야, 어때? 괜찮지? 야, 오랜만에 사이퍼 어때, 사이퍼? 그럼 오랜만에 사이퍼 시원하게 한번. 떨려. 야, 그럼 나부터 할게. 슈가, 오케이, 가볼게. 슈가, 내 이름은 SUGA. 다른 래퍼들은 전부 내 뒤에. 오늘도 새끈한 이 비트 위에 이리 갔다 저리 갔다 혓바닥을 놀려 너희 랩은 다 졸려. 이 CD 다시 돌려. 우리 음악들은 여성분을 울려. 우리 이름은 방탄. 지금 너네 입에서 나오는 건 감탄?
I'm a boy 멋지 I'm a boy 착각 근데 내 목소리는 서탄 너는 일탄 나는 사탄 나는 너를 치유하는 이 같아 네 랩은 돼지 나는 찰록 너는 리본 돼지 나는 발로 캄팔로 꼰대 롤렉스 the always 나한테 어울리는 단어네 근데 너한테 어울리는 건 좀생이 아니면 폼페이 그냥 폭발했지 상대를 좀 가려 아 근데 나 저 오줌 마려
오늘도 갇혀내 프리스타일 래핑 이 장단 맞춰면 폼랩 쭉 세팅 탑 MC 답게 MCM의 구찌 알렉산더 맥큐 뭐든지 랩 처음 할 때 지금은 달라 비트에 걸음만해 난 열흘 만에 타파 모두 차파 전국 날봐
never.
노크 할게요 사이퍼 그래 형들 랩들 잘 들었어 남준이 형 가사 이제는 철들었어 형들 이제 랩 실력이 고만해 칭찬이야 이제는 그만해 내 앞에 호비 형 긴장하고 있어 뭐가 떨려 가서 김장하고 있어 대구 사투리 살아있네 윤기 형 살아있네
제이홉이 나와줘 제이홉 제이홉 나온다 이건 우리 음악 중에 스킬 여기서 보여줄게 내 한 칼 스킬 내 이름 제이홉 멋있어서 흔적이 남지 like 헬퍼 야댐 광주가 난 힙합 이거 전라도 랩의 첫 시작 모두 털어줄게 거덜나게 우린 멋져 불어 허벌나게 내 이름은 진 럭시 잘생 김 근데 내 별명 찐따 최근 들었다가 빠졌지
그래서
이제 내 별명은 진 그래서 내 예명 진 보여줘요? 보컬팀 보여줘요? 내 이름은 지민 여기 보컬팀들 내 랩의 지림 태어난 이름대로 냄새나 좀 비림 내가 누군지 좀 알아봐 미리 미안해요 안 할게요
랩은 안돼 이민
소리
야 사이프도 끝나는데 야밥 어때 밥 먹으러 갈까? 밥만 없어
왜? 야 수다가 랍스타 쏜대 가자
내가 시원하게 쏘게 가자 나 나라포 하면 안 먹어 나 나라포 먹어
야 버려 거부터 나야 수고해 남마
감사합니다 진짜 죄송하다
갈게요
가
잘 있어요
Alright, so that was too cool for school and the outro. And quickly to speak on the outro first, then to get into the project as a whole. The outro is hysterical. That, to this day, they are such similar, if not the exact same people, which I love to see because they haven't changed. No matter what they've crossed into, no matter their journey, no matter the growth, the financial success, the notoriety, all that comes with it. They are still the same people to the degree of when you ask Jin to freestyle. Goes to I'm handsome. He goes right to it. And my name is Jin. My nickname is Jin. Literally the same exact guy we see this day. And honestly, where did the handsome meme come from? Because it's clearly all the way back to this point. If not, this is the predecessor to it. But then you have Jimin, which from all the documentary to the interviews I've watched, Jimin is an absolute character. He is hysterical. And what does he choose to do with his cipher? Decides to diss people, to go at people, to be funny. To which the reaction was, I knew you would do that. Of course you're gonna diss me. Gives 4 lines, and it gave the same exact energy as The Wired of,
I love mango.
Next! That's all it was, just next. over and over again. And honestly, it doesn't surprise me. So that cracked me up. RM always had a unique way of seeing things, and his lyrics have always been super deep and unique. I mean, he's talking about the volcano erupting of Pompeii covering the mountains and pig ribbons. And most people in a cypher are going to pick the simplest types of words and meanings and choices. And no, RM always had to do the most because he was capable of doing the most, the highest level. Hobie, there's so much rhythm to his rap there at the end. I mean, the stutter rhymes, everything. Clearly, he was a dancer at heart, and the rhythm has always been oh so present. It is to this day, and it's cool to see that. Jungkook had to put on a show. JK has always had to be top of the top, and what does he do when he gets a chance to cypher? I'm not a rapper, but I'm going to show you I could rap with the best of them. I got bars, I got lyrics, I got range, I got everything. That's what he did. V, I was surprised to hear rap there, but that was fun. It was a cool little change of pace for him, and exactly what I would have expected. And Suga has been, always will be, the same sort of super kind of introverted, but also powerful statement type of guy. But yeah, what a great way to end a project. They are to this day the same. If I had been given the chance to interview them like Rolling Stone, that's a song I would pull up just for some laughs to see like where they're at these days. I'm sure they all remember it word for word. I wonder if they performed that any time in any of their shows, because that is just a classic little type of moment. And it's so true to who they are. It feels so real and authentic. So yeah, that was too cool for Skool. I had a blast listening to that. It's great to see their roots. It's great to see the potential. Obviously, from a lyrical standpoint, I think that they've always had potential. The messaging is obviously something you discover over time when you haven't lived a lot of life yet. So I don't expect to see the most intrinsic life value type of project at that age. I was expecting something fun with potential, and that's exactly what you have. The potential was there. The ability to rap, to verbalize, to enunciate, to balance, even the English, which they had English in there, they didn't speak it. They had English in there, merged in. They showed their personality. They were authentic. All of it. So I had a blast listening to that. I'm excited to get into the rest of these, and I'm not going to keep you much longer because I got a lot of music to get into. So I appreciate you guys as always. Drop some comments below, hit that subscribe button, all the above. I appreciate it, but most importantly, I appreciate your time as always, and have a good day.